surprised because they just found out that songwriter signed away their songs to a publisher. How can somebody take my song and sign it away? Hey, welcome to SongTown. SongTown on songwriting. I'm here with my co-host, Marty Dotson.
Woo!
Yeah, you got to make the noise.
You got to do it. And we're excited to be here,
All right. So today I'm going to surprise Marty because that's our thing. We surprise each other with topics. And this may not be such a surprise, Marty, because I don't know if everyone knows it that's watching this YouTube, but one of the things we do for SongTown members is they could email us when they have questions about anything. And I think one of the most common questions I get, I think we really need to clear this up because we've done an episode a long time ago about this, but someone emailed and said that they wrote, let's say, 12 songs with another writer. They co-wrote these songs. And they were surprised because they just found out that songwriter signed away their songs to a publisher. And they looked on ASCAP and they said, most of the songs had my name on it as a co-writer, but there were a couple that didn't. And they just left town and I can't get in touch with them. And, I'm just pissed because, how can somebody take my song and sign it away? So I just wanted to talk about how songwrites, how they work. And then at the end, we can talk about things to do so you can fix that situation or even potentially make it so you never find yourself in that situation.
That's the best plan.
Yeah. And so first, let's just talk about, so say you and I write a song. Should I be surprised if you sign away that song? Can you sign away that song? How does that work?
The misperception is, like when you and I write a song, there's 4 shares of that song. I have a publishing share and a writer's share, and you have a publishing share and a writer's share. And you can't sign away our song. That language is like,
right.
It's not accurate. You can sign away your part of the publishing of the song. And that's what happens in those scenarios, right. Is that people are giving a publisher some percentage of, sometimes it's 100, sometimes it's 50, but they're giving the publisher that share of their publishing share in exchange for the publisher doing their admin and pitching their songs and all the things that publishers do. But that, if you go sign your publishing to somebody, that doesn't have anything to do with me, other than now I have somebody working my song on my behalf and it's not costing me anything. So the ideal situation is that I find a publisher that believes in me and they're working our music so that we've got double the effort being put into getting our songs recorded.
Yeah. So let me just say this simply. Marty has half of the song. I have half of the song. He has his publishing. I have my publishing. Marty's free to sign away his publishing to any publisher on God's green earth, or he can keep his own publisher and do his own publishing. Me, if I'm free to do the same thing. And I'm free to say, if I've got a friend that's in a new band, say, they just signed a record deal, I can give that song to those artists and they can record it. They don't have to have Marty's permission. All they have to have is one of the writers, and I'm going to let them record the song. So I think you just have to go into co-writing realizing that the best co-writers are co-writers that communicate. Yeah. So many times Marty and I have written a song, and Marty will let me know if he has a publishing deal. He'll let me know if an artist is interested in singing the song or in recording the song, and vice versa. I will let him know, if tomorrow I sign a new publishing deal and the next song we write is going to be under a new publisher, or if I don't have a publishing deal and I'm going to be publishing it myself, just communicate with your co-writer. And I think the thing that the writer that wrote into me, he was concerned and angry, and I don't think he realized, hey, it doesn't affect your part of the song. Right. And even after I explained it, he didn't quite understand it yet. So I think that's really why I wanted to talk about it, and to see that as potentially a great thing, because if his co-writer signed a publishing deal, that publisher might go out and get their song cut tomorrow. And that would be great. And that other writer gave away his publishing, or signed away their publishing, but you still have yours.
Yes.
And that's great, because if it became a hit, maybe you go to a publisher and you have some leverage to get a nice draw, or to get an advance for signing a deal and making that song as part of the deal.
Yeah, it's an awesome, if you have a publisher and I don't, let's say you have a 50-50 co-pub, so the publisher's got 50% of your publishing share. If he gets that song cut, then you get half of your publishing, the money from that, and I get all of the money from my publishing. So when people often look at that, like you said, as a bad thing, it's really a great thing if one of your co-writers gets a publishing deal, and it doesn't have anything to do with your stuff at all. In fact, you and I often caution people, if a publisher comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm signing Johnny's part of this song, and I'm not going to pitch it unless you sign me your part," that's kind of a red flag that you need to, stop, slow down a minute and go, "Hey, let me make sure this is a legit deal," because most publishers are not concerned with trying to grab everybody's publishing. They're happy with one person that they're working with, and they're going to work on behalf of that person.
Yeah, and we've talked about that part of it in an episode, but I wanted to talk about this part that, and just reiterate. Word of the day. Hey, word of the day, reiterate. Ding, 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 ding. What someone else does with their part of your song that you co-write has zero effect on you. Now, the one case it would affect is in the sync world, and we can talk about that in another episode. But for the recording business, for someone wanting to put your song out, a recording artist wanting to put your song out, for a publisher wanting to sign your part of the publishing, or a co-writer's publishing, all that, just think of when you co-write a song, no one else can touch your portion of that song. And period. From the second you write it, you own your own publishing, and you own your own part of the co-write for the writer's share, and no one on God's green earth can take that from you. And this writer was really upset because he said that they just signed away our song, and so I think it just came from a lack of understanding. And also, we can talk about, there's some ways that you can keep that situation from, like the writer was saying, "Hey, I looked on ASCAP and the writer had only listed me on 10 of the 12 songs." And so I think there's ways that we can go about. For me, I don't know about you, Marty, but I try to be the first person to register my song with my PRO. So in case of the person that wrote in, if he had not waited, if he, the week they wrote the song, if he had gone on to ASCAP or BMI, whoever his PRO is, and just typed in all the information for the song, it would be registered first by him. And then you're not trying to go and get ASCAP to change and add you to the copyright, or add you to, that licensing information that's on ASCAP.
And, to reiterate one of the things you said earlier.
Ding, 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 ding.
Thank you. The instance that you can do something on behalf of the song is like you mentioned earlier. I could license the song to my cousin Johnny for his independent project. Before I do that, I should contact my co-writers and get their approval, because one of them might have it on hold for Tim McGraw, and I don't want cousin Johnny cut over a Tim McGraw cut. So, when you're pitching a song, one person can sign it away in that regard to an artist, And so that's where that communication comes in, that you really need to have a conversation about, hey, let's pitch this to major artists. If we pitch it to any independent artists, let's have a conversation about it. So we're going to be happy if we get a major label cut on anybody, but let's talk about it before we start licensing it to our cousins and just people we know that are independent artists.
Yeah, because I mean, if Tim McGraw is going in tomorrow to cut your song, or any Luke Bryan or any artist, and they just happen to be surfing the internet and go, "Oh, who cousin Johnny cut this song and put it out and has 20,000 views on YouTube." I don't want to do a song second. And you could literally blow a whole deal. So yeah, be upfront. And most of the pros that we work with, our strategy is, let's try to first get a major artist to record the songs. And if it doesn't happen and a reasonable amount of time goes by, then yeah, maybe we'll pitch it to a lesser artist and give them a shot with the song. But you want to start at the top, and you want to communicate, because like Marty said, if I'm giving the song away to cousin Johnny and he's got Kenny Chesney who's dying to cut the song, the last thing you want to do is blow that.
Yeah. Yep. So that's, you can't sign away all of your co-writer's rights to a publisher in those kinds of deals, but it only takes one writer or publisher to license a song to someone. So that's where the great communication needs to come in.
All right. So I will reiterate the final thought of the day. Sweetwater, we're loved that you are our sponsor. Now, that's not the final thought. The final, we love Sweetwater for sponsoring this. But what I was going to say is, for the final thought, what your co-writer does with their portion of the song is their business. It doesn't affect you. So we'll talk more about this in the future. But I just want you guys to understand, it's not necessarily a bad thing either. It can be the best thing that ever happened to you if your co-writer signs their publishing away to someone. So all is good. Thank you, Sweetwater. And thanks to Marty, my co-host here today. Check out the show notes below. We have books that Marty and I have written on melody, lyrics, co-writing that helped a lot of people. And we also want you to check out songtown.com if you get a chance. Like I said, when you're a member of SongTown, we're available for you to contact us, ask us any questions about your career, your writing, your business side. We're happy to help.
Yep, absolutely. See you next Tuesday.